So here on my right hand I've got the Imagination Works 1 to 9 Luffy figure. Previously I've also shown you guys this figure from my visit to the Imaginations 2022 exhibition, so you can check that video out in the link down below. Now this Luffy is damn expensive. Never in my life so far I've owned a more expensive Luffy than this. Costed like 11,000 yen. Luckily yen's a bit cheap at the moment, so it's okay. Anyways, back to this. So the Imagination Works, this one I think is the 4th in the series. Previously they've released Goku, Vegeta, the Dragon Ball stuff. Quality, the scale, everything would be upped immensely because that's why they're charging the premium pricing. Sculpture, coloring, texture, value and articulation, those are the few things that they're focusing on. As always, kindly like the like button and sub to my channel for more stuff like this. Check out my previous videos. Hope you enjoy what I've got on my channel, and without further ado, let's unbox this Luffy. Right, and here we are. We've got the Imagination Works One Piece Luffy here, and as you can see it's laminated for the figure itself, including the cape behind him, and also we've got the usual logos, Bandai, Imaginations, blah blah blah, and on the right hand side we've got the Luffy figure in a different motion without the cape and with the hat behind his head. And also on the back, emphasizes on how they're emphasizing on the sculpture, clothing, texture, value and articulation, so hopefully that turns out to be true. Also we've got another glimpse of the figure here with the hat on top of his head and behind his head. On the left hand side we've got the aggressive Luffy with the fighting motion. It's time to open this bad boy. Right off the gate, there's tons of stuff to go through. Let's see on the left hand side first. As usual, we've got the center with the figure here, Luffy, and the really well painted shorts. As you can see, the gradients of weather condition is applied to the shorts itself, but let's go through that later. And we've got two hats, one on the left and the right. Also, we've got the different expressions of his face. On the left, we've got the unhappy ones, and on the right hand side, we've got the happy one, as well as one that is really aggressive. There's a different set of hair here that you can apply to Luffy, and also on the left hand side we have got him with his fighting fists, the black paint applied to his hands and some of his arm, and also we've got a few pairs of different hands with the different hand gestures. And also here we have got the, I think this is the different eyeballs that he has. Yes, this is. So as you can see, let me open this up. So you've got the different eyeballs with the pitch black ones as well as the more glaring ones here, as you can tell by the difference. Here for this pack we've got the cloth clothing, as we can see here, with the red top and also his cape, or the long dark coat that he has. And also we've got the gigantic base here, Imagination Works Monkey D. Luffy, and also some of the support stands, which I'll show you in a second. Here we've got the body of the figure. Let's go through that first. As usual, the head is pretty good in terms of scalp, and you can even see the cracks or the linings for his teeth, as well as the scar, which is really finely printed, which is really great, I think. Also for his hair, the scalp is nice. As you can see, this is not some cheap plastic where they put the joint with the visible line across the middle. This is a really high quality scalp. As you can see, no linings, great scalp, and you don't get the crappy plastic. That comes with some of the molds. So basically there is a blob here and there where they kind of unplug it from the bigger mold, so you don't have that problem here, which is really great. As you can see, the ears and eyes are sculpted pretty nicely with the brows finely painted here as well, or printed. Moving down, we've got the scar, and the scar is pretty detailed as well. As you can see, some of the finer linings here. Pretty great, and just FYI, these lines are actually sculpted as well, so you can feel kind of the textural difference between the smooth surface and this kind of surface here we've got in the center. Body shape wise, we can see Luffy with the six packs and all the muscular kind of muscles in the middle. Also we've got the fists as the defaulted hands, which are sculpted nicely. The knuckles, the fingers are on point as well. Down to the waist, we've got this rope in purple, and there is some gradient of the lighter purple applied to here on the outer surfaces, which is pretty nice. And moving down, we've got the shorts I have mentioned, which is pretty good as well. As you can see where the creases are, you can see the weathering, the paints applied to it. It's not just one layer but two layers, so you get this lighter beige color as well as this kind of charcoal, just a very slight hint of charcoal here as well, which is pretty good. And on the back, this amazed me even more with the back pockets of his shorts. All the weathering is done pretty nicely and it's really great. For the bottom of the shorts, we can see the fluffy scalp of the design here, and also comes in two gradients of paint, the base layer being charcoal and the top being a lighter grey, which is great. Shin and knee areas, which is good in terms of scale because, as we know, Luffy's a pretty lanky character, and also for the toes and feet itself, pretty nicely sculpted. And as you can see, these sandals. So here for the ankle joint, you can see the metal part here, which is, I wouldn't say it's ideal because it kind of takes me off the immersion of the figure, but nonetheless, this is what they did. And also for the inner side as well. At the bottom of the sandals, we can see the paint and the darker wash areas that sips through the lines, which is pretty nice, give it that weathering look. And on the back of the figure, you can see some of the muscles, again, pretty well sculpted here for Luffy. Articulation wise, we've got the usual head joint. As you can see, the top part can be twisted here. So for the bottom of the neck, you can see there's other joint as well being applied to here, which is nice. And for the shoulders, we've got the separate piece attaching to the main body, and it's great in terms of giving this extra maneuverability. And in terms of the body, I want to emphasize that the bottom part, i.e. where the six-pack is in a soft plastic, as you can see. It gives more room for maneuverability in terms of whether you're stretching it out here as such, so you can move pretty robustly. Biceps area, we have got the top joint where you can twist it 360, and also with the elbow as such, which is great as usual. And although it's a bit ugly on the design aspect, you can see the visible lines and the different pieces assembled together, but nonetheless it gives the maneuverability that we want. And also for the rest, the usual 360 ups and downs. Moving down, we've got the waist, as usual, the 360 turns and figures, and also for the shorts area, we have got a few different pieces. So at the top, we've got the usual pelvic board joint, as you can see left and right, and also with the thigh, we can kind of twist it a little bit on the outer side, and that applies for both the legs. And although it does look a bit weird if you twist it too much, as you can see, and on the back, it gives the extra room for that maneuverability, so it doesn't really limit that flexibility on the figure. And also while we're on the back, we can see this little flap here, so you can get this up and down. So basically, if Luffy does this crazy kick, like the Gomu Gomu kicks, so you can kind of bend it really outward to the back as such, so it doesn't hinder that movement because of this fluffy design. Moving back to front, we can see where the knee areas are as such, so it's a separate piece, again similar to the elbow, gives it that extra maneuverability, which is nice. For the ankle, it's 360 for the board joint. Ooh, kind of breaking it here, and let me twist it back. Flap it up or down with a degree of angle, which is not a 360 of course. And also for the toe areas, we have the usual slight angle flap here as well. Also, let's take the plastic out. You can kind of see the body, as you can see with the kind of soft plastic that I mentioned just now. You can kind of bounce it about. Here's the center board joint. Let me twist that to the center. Okay, there we are. So it's pretty good. I quite like this because it's robust, it's flexible, and it's great. And also another glimpse of the bottom of the interior of the body. So for the purple rope, you can take it out and you can see clearly how the joints are. Right, we've got everything out. Let's check them out. So the two hats, right one doesn't have the holes and the left one has. So the holes are essentially where you can assemble these parts together, as you can see right here, as such, kind of like this. and the other one of course is just for displaying on his head. Which of course brings me to the scalp. So essentially you put the scalp on so he can put the hat on, otherwise with the spiky hair with the defaulted head we can't really plug this on, otherwise it looks weird. And here, displaying what I said exactly just now, we've got the crappy line with both the pieces of the plastic joined together as such. This of course will be disguised by the hair, as you can see right here. If you put that on, you can't really see that line anymore. In regards to faces, let's have a look on the two here on the left first. I'd say these two are very much similar or even the same. Right hand side we've got these two. One is with the smiling without teeth, and this one is with the aggressive aggression face, and it's pretty good. I want to put this on while he's fighting. Fists, we can see the black paint is applied here and it's got this kind of glossy finish to it. The other pair of hands, we've got the open palm gesture as such. Also this one with the thumb tucked in. Arms wise, spray painted with this black, and we can see some of the flesh here. Flesh hands, we've got the normal color of the hands and it's sculpted nicely, fine lines, etc. with thumbs out. Same ones as the black with the thumbs tucked in. What's more is that we've got one extra hand with the opening hand palm gesture, about to grab kind of gesture thing. I wish Bandai could have given us the left hand as well, because it just seems odd. Everything's in a pair and this one is on its own. Heading back to the eyes part, I have spotted some shitty stuff happening here. So on the right eye here with this specific pair, it's got this stain that is stuck within the plastic itself. I can't scratch it off nor can I wipe it off, so that is the only crappy part here that I've seen so far. First time for me to own a Luffy with actual clothing, i.e. cotton cloth clothing like a Barbie or something similar to a Hot Toys figure. So let's take these out. Voila! Okay, so this actually looks better once it's out of the bag. Gold reflective button here, and also what's more is that with all these lining parts there is a bendable wire stuck inside it. So this is pretty ideal. However you want to pose your Luffy, it's there. You can pose the different gestures that you desire. This applies to sleeve as well, as you can see, pretty much bendable to however or whatever shape you want. In regards to black coat, you can see this hook that you can hook to the pivot on the figure. So I'm going to assume this here, and also again the bendable wire is within the edges. It's pretty cool in terms of posing to the different gestures as you like. Also the fabric is quite soft for this one, smooth polyester material I'd say. And of course this is where the manual comes in handy, so it tells you to take the fists out and then put on the shirt. Nice, so this is where Luffy actually looks more like Luffy. And you can see how much difference it gives to the figure in terms of the bendable wire clothing pieces. It gives that kind of fluidity, that motion where the character is moving or where the wind is hitting his outfit. 5 minutes later, we've got it on finally, and it looks kind of weird because the collar bit here, as you can see, is a little bit too high for my liking, and also you can't fit the sleeves into the dark sleeves of the coat. If you look at it from afar, it looks okay. Again, problem being the collar being a bit too high for the dark coat. Up next, the base. The base is lighter than I would have expected. As you can see, it's not a piece of solid plastic, so you can hear it's pretty thin. And also we've got the different pieces of support, which should be quite sturdy. As you can see with the screws and stuff, it's pretty high quality, and you can stick the different pieces on depending how you want to pose your figure. For example, here it's similar to the Hot Toys ones where you can kind of hook onto the crotch and let it support your figure here and pose it while he's in midair or something. And for this one, it's where your figure should be standing still as such, and you can pretty much hook onto the waist as such so he doesn't fall off or get knocked over by the unbalanced weight of however pose that he has on him. guys, so what do you think of this Luffy figure? For me, I really like the quality in terms of the plastic, the scalp, the coloring, as well as the clothing being in cotton cloth. Damn, there's a big plus. We've had so many Luffy figures in the past. This one, although it's pricey, but it's the best one I've owned so far. And what do you think of this? Let me know down below in the comment section below, and also kindly check out my other videos, and also like the like button and sub to my channel for more stuff like this. And I'll see you guys next time. Stay safe and bye now.